So I have a beautiful array of colors here that I just picked today. If you haven't seen my video from earlier, Dark Gray Kitty helped show all these beautiful tomatoes that have just ripened today. And they're starting to pop off now. And I know with the heat, a lot of tomatoes have been struggling to ripen. So I'm sending good vibes and blessings your way that your tomatoes ripen like mine are starting to. In this recipe, you will need sugar, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, Italian seasoning, onion, cucumber, tomato, and, well, for adding Italian seasoning, why don't I add some of my beautiful purple opal basil fresh out of the garden. You will also want to have on hand some bowls to serve it in or store it in, a whisk, and a measuring cup, a knife, and a cutting board. And probably a container to keep your scraps in to take to your chickens or to add to your compost pile. I'm going to start by washing off what I'm going to use, which is going to be maybe close to this whole cucumber, if not at least half. Some cherry tomatoes out of here, and you could use any tomato you want really, but I have several cherry tomatoes of different colors. I might slice up a Berkey's Pink Tie-Dye or a Paul Robeson or something, but use whatever you want. Use about the same ratio of cucumber to tomato, and then I have a small onion which I'm going to chop up too, so I'm going to go ahead and prep those things. So what I have done so far is I thin sliced that whole cucumber and then cut it in half, so they're half moons. And I cut up a whole Berkey's Pink Tie-Dye tomato and threw it in there. I just diced it pretty big. And then with these cherries, I am just going to cut them in half. The saladettes, probably cut them into 2 or 3 pieces and just chuck them in there. I also thin sliced that whole small red onion and half mooned them as well and threw them in there. You can cut it however you want. I'm just telling you what I did. Please excuse this old stove. We have a brand new gas one over there, but we have to run gas lines yet. So until then, we're working with this one burner on this one stove. Please excuse it. It looks like a party in there already. So I'm going to go ahead and just stir it up a little bit just to show you. See how I've cut things. And it just looks really appealing and like a party to the eye. So I'm really pleased with this. So I'll show you how to make the sauce we're going to chuck on top of there. Okay, so the first ingredient I'm going to add for this sauce is 1/3 cup of olive oil. So I'm going to bring my olive oil over here. Wrong side. I'm putting in the olive oil first because if I put in the olive oil after the balsamic vinegar can't help get the rest of the olive oil out. Okay. Pour it in there. Okay, then the next ingredient I'm going to use is a 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. And I'm going to go a little bit more than a 1/2 cup because I still see some olive oil in there. And who says cooking has to be precise anyway? Alright, then I am going to use 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And since I'm not even going to measure this, but I'm going to also cut up, rough chop my dark purple opal basil and put it in there. Take the leaf, well, it's on one main stem. I suppose I'll just hold it like this and chop it. I'm going to curl it up, roll it up together like this so it's easier to cut. Wrong knife. Much better. This is also going to add more health benefits because the purple color has all the antioxidants in it, or a lot of it, and it's just going to add to the visual party going on. So, yay for purple basil. And then we are going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. If I can see the measurements. There we go. I'm going to try to scrape all that out of there with the whisk. Good enough. And salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to add some here, and then I will test the product out when I am done and add more if I feel like it needs it. That one is just not working out well. I don't prefer to use just regular table salt, but that's what I have on hand, so I'm going to use what I got. And I need to add, I know I need to get some, add some rice, but all right, we're gonna whisk this together. I'm going to try to get all of the herbs off the side so it marries nice and well with it. So all the flavors combine good. Then we will go ahead and join the two beautiful things together. I'm going to just go ahead and scrape the remaining ingredients out of that bowl into this bowl, and I'll be back with you. Alright, also you could add garlic in here as well. I happen to be out of garlic, so no garlic for this recipe, but I think garlic would be a wonderful idea for this. Now to serve it, you would top it with shredded Parmesan or shredded Italian cheese, but we're going to let this marinate and sit in the refrigerator for a couple hours before serving. Cucumber salads and other salads of this type just taste much better that way. Okay, let me take a taste test first before we stick it in there, see if I need to add more salt. All right, let me get a chunk of cucumber, a little onion, and a little tomato. That's going to taste so much better after sitting in the refrigerator for a few hours. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon tonight. I mean, in the afternoon tonight. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Western Kentucky. And by the time dinner hits around, this is going to be magnificent. It could use a little bit more salt, but I'm just going to leave that up to the person who's eating its discretion, whether they want to add more salt or not. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe and that you want to give this recipe a try. It's really good. It's my first time making it. I got inspired from a post about using balsamic vinegar in a cucumber salad and thought that's a good way to use up some of my ingredients I got. So I love you, and so does Jesus. God bless everybody.